Hello, good morning, Gary Champion, psychic medium. There's a I did a video the other day, and as I was talking, I apparently said that I had a guide there named Lulu, and of course, I don't remember these things that I say in a meditative state. But then there's a lot of comments about I wish I knew who my guides were, and I know a lot of you were thinking it without maybe making a comment. Yeah. First time I met my guides, I met them all at once. I had a dream, and this is why I'm telling you this is because perhaps you've met yours and you just didn't realize it. I had a dream, I don't know, I had a dream last night, 12 years ago, let's say. And in the dream, I was going through a factory. And man, I worked in a factory a couple of times, but I'm taking a tour, and they're showing me all the products and little machinery and stuff. And I go through this area where there are people there sitting around boxes and sitting on boxes, having lunch, eating sandwiches. And I didn't think anything about it at the beginning, but then there was a lot of smiles. They kept smiling at me, and really friendly, wonderful smiles. And I have to go up these stairs and go up the stairs, and I look back and I see that they're all doing this. It was my cue that they were my guides. And I tried to have it drawn. I hired an artist to draw a sketch, a rendition of what my dream was. I was going to include it in a book as to how to meet your guides. That was just part of the book, but I didn't have any. Of course, I have mental pictures, so I described to him what I saw, and he did a really good job. But then he wanted to blackmail me over money, and I had to take him out of the book. Anyway, last night I had a dream. It's a very similar dream where I've moved into a neighborhood, and I can tell you, I'm not going to tell you everything I saw because it might be prophetic or something. It may be something you shouldn't know. But I'm standing around in this place. I don't know if it's an apartment or a condo or what. I assume it's a condo. And apparently a window is open, and a head comes through the window, and he says, "Hey, why don't you join us next door?" I thought, okay, well, this is the neighbors inviting me over. And I come in the room, and it's full of people. I don't know, 10, 12, 15, a lot of people, a lot of different kinds of people, women, men, all different ages, mostly middle-aged on. And sit down. They offer me a seat at the table. I sit down, and I'm looking at their faces, and I don't know these people, but they're interesting faces. And one of them said, "Why don't you go boating with us?" And I said immediately, I'm not much of a boater. And I'm thinking, also during the dream, I'm thinking, why did I rent this place on the water, on a lake, if I'm not much of a boater? And why are they offering me, having never met me, and there's a lot of them, to go boating? All these people would not fit on a boat. Anyway, all these things are going through my mind. Then I start looking at them, and these guys are Bernies. They're not boaters. They're Bernies. They're bookkeepers. They're number crunchers. They're thinkers, for lack of a better word. And I realize something's up, but I'm not sure what. In the back of my mind, even in the dream, I have the capability of thinking, and usually that doesn't happen in a dream of mine. Usually I'm just in the dream. But in this dream, I remember thinking, they've got some old boat out back that won't run. They're trying to find some guy to stick it on, and I'm new in the neighborhood. Been there a day, maybe. And they've got this old boat they want to dump off on me. And they say, "You want to go boating with us?" We'll sell them this boat and get it out of our way. But that wasn't what it was. And incredible details. It was a small kitchen and over here, and it's typical. You can walk from the dining area into the kitchen, and they have a wall of cabinets, put stuff in, but you can see underneath it like there's a little bar there. It's a typical kitchen. And I stand up and I look at them, and they're all smiling and going like that. So now I know that these are guides of mine. That's a clue. They usually do that. And their last communication with me was, when you went live, we went with you. So one of them was Lulu, but there were also a bunch of guys who looked like Bernies. Anyway, that's just happened a few hours ago. So I thought, well, that's not interesting enough. I thought, well, maybe it is. Maybe that someone out there has had a dream where they're in a group of people they don't know, and they begin talking to them, and then the dream ends, and you're wondering what it was all about. And perhaps it's just your guides that are introducing you. It's usually not just meeting one person. Usually it's. Now, most individuals have a guide or two. Mostly just one. My guys are saying mostly just have one. When you cross over into doing this for a living, as I did 12 years ago in this state when I moved, I've been doing it much longer than that, but when I stopped working a normal job and decided to do this full time was, I think, 12, 13 years ago, something like that. And I just moved into a small apartment. It's very similar. Just moved into a new apartment. And I had this dream, this first dream of my guides. Well, now there's like 3 times that many. So when you see me reading people in a go live session, it's not me that's talking. It's one of these 15 individuals. And they were all jammed in there. It was hard to know why they were all. These are things you don't think about, but in the moment I was aware that there's 15 people in this little bitty condo in this kitchen dining room area, and there was a door here and windows over there, and over here there was a set of stairs going downstairs, and for some reason I knew there was a pool down there. And I remember thinking, she has an indoor pool and the lake's right there. Well, maybe she doesn't like to swim in the lake. And all that went through my head as I was watching this unfold. So if you want to know who your guides are or who your guide is, often it's just you've met them in a dream and they've introduced themselves to you. Now, I didn't know who the names were, but now as we're talking, I'm getting a bunch of names. So, which wouldn't interest you. And I won't remember them anyway. There's too many of them. But if you're an individual, you have at least one guide, sometimes more than others. And it's not usually relative. Everybody's thinking, oh, my grandmother's helping me. Your grandmother is helping you, but usually on different matters. Navigational things are best left to professional guides. And if you remember, your parents and grandparents sometimes didn't do it right when they were here, so they make bad guides. Relatives make bad guides. At some point, they may make a guide for somebody else, but not you. They're too closely involved in it. But they're probably talking to you and telling you things all the time. Simple things. The big heavy lifting guides do all the big stuff. And it's not someone you ever met. I don't know if that helps any or not, but yes, your relatives are around you, but people are always upset when it's some distant uncle that's around them and it's not their mother during that moment. But a distant uncle would make a great guide because he didn't know you that well. Maybe met you once, twice. And maybe he lived right. Maybe he had a good shot at it and guided himself through life in a proper manner. So I know my relatives are around all the time, and I don't know if I trust them to be guides or not, but they sure can be specific about things. I said my brother's been here, my aunt, my grandmother, my grandfather, mother, they've all come through here at one time or another, and they speak about various things. And their comments are useful and comforting and all those things, but not in a big worldly sense of what do I do next. I kind of know what I'm doing next, but not. Don't discount these strange dreams you have where people are in it that you don't know and they're talking to you about something that doesn't make sense. You have to look behind it. When you wake up, look behind what it was about. They didn't want me to go boating. They wanted me to join them and come play a little bit. I wrote a book a number of years ago, To the Other Side and Back, where I accidentally flipped over to the other side and was there for a period of time and would come back. And then I did it several times and I wrote a book about it and exactly things I saw. So that's a possibility. I haven't had time to digest it yet. I just woke up and came in here and thought I'd do a video about it. But I'm sure it has something to do with me doing a similar book, or they got my back. I'm sure that was the biggest thing they wanted to say, was that when I was doing those live videos, they were there, the whole hee-haw gang. So never think you're alone. I wrote a book that says you're never alone once. I've written a book about a lot of this stuff. It's long ago. I'm not even sure they're available anymore, but you're never alone. No one's ever alone. Not truly alone. Someone is always with you. People come through here all the time. People who have passed, animals, all kinds of things. People I never met, don't know. So if in a dream you see somebody, or you have a group of people, or maybe just one person, you don't know who they are, and it doesn't make sense, and they're talking to you about something that doesn't make sense, perhaps that's your guide. If you're there, ask them who their name is. Usually the thing is, when you're asleep and you're at a deep meditative state, the brain doesn't really work. It stops operating. So you don't have the ability to ask questions. And that's a clue as to what's going on. If you're actually in the dream and it's actually happening as something from the other side, and you can have these thoughts about, I'm not a boater. And maybe they have this old boat they're trying to sell me. I was trying to figure out what the meeting was about. It was about me. And introducing themselves to me, because we've come to another level. And your whole life, if you're a medium, you have different levels. At age 6, I was fully formed as a medium. I knew everything that was going on around me. And as time goes on, I've climbed up. I've done other things. I've done medical intuitive work and psychometry, and I speak to animals, or I hear animals. All these other things. So at a different level. I guess they want to introduce themselves. Now, none of these people are anybody I recognize from the first dream about God, so they're different. So I'm speculating that as you change, as you get into the field, everything changes. Your guides change because your objective in life is different. And by the way, love all the comments. I don't see anybody else responding when you see a Go Live event, or and they've got huge numbers of attendees, like thousands and thousands of people. I don't ever see whoever was giving the Go Live. I never see them respond to anything. I never see them. Maybe there's too many of them or something, but I will respond to what I can. So I look at everything you write. Every day, every morning I get up. Last night, the last thing I did before I went to sleep is I turned on the YouTube channel and I made some comments, tried to say some things. So appreciate the comments. And just like they're with me doing Go Live and other things, you're with me as well. See, it's a trip we're taking together. And many of you have done this Go Live stuff before. I never have, but my trip's a little different. I'm doing real accurate readings in the moment, and then you comment and then I comment back. So it's a relationship of sorts. Thanks for coming along on the ride with me. We have some things planned to do. My wife mostly comes up with these things. I'm just oblivious to them, but she has some great ideas of things we're going to do in the future. And don't forget, first year we're going to do horoscopes for everyone, and we'll also do New Year's Day. I think we're going to go live. I forgot when, but it's up there, and a bunch of other things coming. So no fear, no regret, no anger. Thanks for watching.